Hi, it's me again, Mamanaline, your math teacher for grade 7. We are now on our second week of quarter 3. It's another week of our modular learning. So, in this video, we will learn about line and angle relationships. This is based on the most essential learning competency, derives relationships of geometric figures using measurements and by inductive reasoning. Supplementary angles, complementary, congruent, vertical, adjacent angles, linear pairs, perpendicular lines, and parallel lines. So our reference is the Division of Cebu Province SLHT written by Mr. Orlando Cañete. So we live in a world full of geometric concepts such as points, lines, rays, segments, angles, and planes. Geometric shapes are found in natural and human activity, so we use geometry whenever we work with the size, shape, or position of objects or their parts. If a photographer wants to take a picture from different angles, how can he determine which angle gets the best result? In constructing a stairway of a building, what angle must be considered? Okay, this shows that why is it important to know angles, the special pairs, and their properties. So there are different ways in which pair of angles may be classified. A pair of angles may be related on the basis of the sum of their angle measures or of their positions. So let's have adjacent angles. So these are angles, two angles which have a common side and a common vertex, but no interior points in common. Let's have an example of adjacent angles. So angle LOV and angle VOE have a common side, which is ray OV, and a common vertex, which is O. On the other hand, angle LOV and angle LOE are non-adjacent angles since they have a common interior point V. This one, point V. Okay, let's proceed to congruent angles and angle bisector. Okay, two angles are congruent. Take note of the symbol for congruent if they have the same measure. Okay, the bisector of an angle, it is a ray in the interior of the angle that divides the angle into two congruent angles. So an angle has exactly one bisector. So meaning, gidivide ra ang atong one angle into two congruent or into two equal angles. Let's have an example of congruent angles. So we have here angle Q, which is 42 degrees, and angle L, which is also 42 degrees. Therefore, therefore, angle Q is congruent to angle L since they have equal measurements. Okay, let's have another example of congruent angles. Okay, ray AP is the bisector of angle GAE, this ray. So meaning, this divides the angle into two equal angles. So in this example, angle GAP is congruent to angle PAE by ray AP. So this angle GAP congruent to angle PAE. Since the measure of angle GAP is 45 degrees, so the measure of angle PAE is also 45 degrees. Hence, the two angles are congruent. Okay, proceed to vertical angles. Vertical angles are two non-adjacent angles formed by two intersecting lines. Do you still remember what are intersecting lines? Okay, I hope so you remembered. Okay, so vertical angles are always congruent. Always remember, vertical angles are always congruent, meaning always equal. Okay, example, let us refer to this figure to identify vertical angles. Okay, we have line M and line N, so they are intersecting lines forming angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, angle 4. Okay, and the pair of angles 1 and 4 and angles 2 and 3, so they are non-adjacent angles. Therefore, angle 1 and angle 4 and angle 2 and angle 3 are vertical angles. Okay. Proceed to complementary angles. So complementary angles are two adjacent or non-adjacent angles whose sum is 90 degrees. Each angle is a complement of the other. Okay, remember when we say complementary angles, the sum is 90 degrees. Okay, to find the measure of the complement of an angle, you have to subtract it from 90. Okay, example of two adjacent angles. We have angle WAS and angle SAH. Okay, measure of angle WAS is 70 and therefore measure of angle SAH should be 90 minus 70 degrees, which is equal to 20 degrees. Okay, itong i-highlight ang red. So, 20 degrees ang atong angle SAH. Okay, another example. Two non-adjacent angles. So we have angle 1, which is 35 degrees, and angle 2. Let's find the measure of angle 2. So we have angle 1, 35 degrees, and angle 2 should be 90 minus 35 degrees. Therefore, measure of our angle 2 is 55 degrees. Therefore, 55 is the complement of 35 degrees. Okay, proceed to supplement. Let's have supplementary angles. Okay, when we say supplementary angles, these are two adjacent or non-adjacent angles whose sum is 180 degrees. So each angle is a supplement of the other. Okay. So to find the measure of the complement of an angle, so you have to subtract from 180. So sa complementary ganina, subtract from 90 degrees. So in these supplementary angles, you have to subtract from 180. Let's have an example of supplementary angles. So we have here two adjacent angles, angle 1 and angle 2, with measure of angle 1, which is 47 degrees. So to find the measure of angle 2, so we subtract 47 degrees from 180 degrees. And our answer is 133 degrees. Therefore, 133 degrees is the supplement of 47 degrees. Another example, non-adjacent angles. We have HAT and angle SKY. So given the measure of angle SKY, which is 123 degrees, So let's find the measure of angle HAT. So subtract 180 and 123. So our answer is 57 degrees. So therefore, 57 degrees is the supplement of 123 degrees. Okay, let's have linear pair of angles. So when we say linear pair of angles, it is composed of two supplementary angles which are adjacent. Okay, supplementary angles whose measure is, the sum of the measure is, okay, 180 degrees. Okay, let's have example of linear pair. So in this figure, angle RAP and angle PAY are supplementary angles since the sum of their angles is 180. So that is 120 degrees plus 60 degrees is 180 degrees. So the two angles form a linear pair because they are adjacent and ray AR and ray AY are opposite rays. So remember, if two angles form a linear pair, then they are supplementary and adjacent. Right? Supplementary and adjacent. That's their always should be remembering. Proceed to perpendicular lines. Okay, two lines are perpendicular if they intersect and form right angles. So when we say right angles, the measure of the angle is 90 degrees. So let's have an example of perpendicular lines. So in this figure, line AT and line FH intersect at point I to form right angles. Okay, so take note of this symbol, this one. So this indicates that the angle is right. Okay, so we say that line AT is perpendicular to line FH. Okay, in symbol, we write line AT. Take note of the symbol for line and the perpendicular symbol, then perpendicular to line FH. Okay, let's have parallel lines. So two lines are parallel if and only if they are coplanar and do not intersect. So lines that lie on the same plane are coplanar, and a line and a plane are parallel if they do not intersect. Segments or rays are subsets of a line and can also be parallel to each other. Okay, do you still remember what are segments and rays? Okay, you can watch our first video if you forget. Let's have example of parallel lines. So in this figure, line X or line AB is parallel to line CD, or line X is parallel to line Y since they do not intersect. So in symbol, we write line AB parallel, symbol for parallel, to line CD, or line X is parallel to line Y. Okay, so don't forget the symbol for parallel lines. Next, let's have examples. So the measure of an angle and its supplement are in the ratio of 1:8. Find the measure of the angle. Okay, remember supplement, that is 180 minus the measure of the angle, another angle. So let's have our solution. So in representation, so this is how we are going to solve our problem. So let's start with the representation. So let x, or you can have any variable, be the measure of the angle. And 180 minus x, since we are talking about supplement. So we are using 180 minus the measure of the angle. So that's the supplement, the representation for the supplement of our angle. Second step, proceed to equation. So that is x over 180 minus x is equal to 1/8. Di nagikan ang 1/8. Okay, diri ni ratio 1:8, or in fraction form, that is 1/8. Okay, next step is the solution. Okay, so here our equation. And how did we get 8x equals 180 minus x? So that is from here, 8x times 8, that is 8x. And then 1 times 180 is 180, and 1 times negative x, so that is negative x. Next, we group our terms, or ato silang i-group nga ang ari sa left side sa equal sign, all are with variables, and on the right side, whole numbers. Okay, how are we going to do that? So we eliminate this one, or ato nitang tangon by adding x. Okay, negative x plus x, so ma-equal na siya sa 0. What we do on the right should be done on the left side. Since we added x, we also add x on our left side of our equal sign. Okay, so that is 8x plus x is equal to 180 minus x plus x. Okay, 8x plus x is 9x. That, why? Nga nung 9 nga? 8 plus x man. Okay, so 8 plus tapad sa x, understood as naa ni 1 nga numerical coefficient. So we only add the numerical coefficients, or kaning mga numbers nga nagtapad sa variable. So we have 8 plus 1, that is 9, and copy the variable, which is x. Then, on the other side, 180 minus x plus x. So since this is equal to 0, so the number left is only 180. Next, okay, eliminate the numerical coefficient. Okay, kaning tapad, number nga tapad sa x. So para ma-eliminate siya, ato siyang i-divide o kung saan yung tapad sa x? 9. So 9 divided by 9 is equal to 1. And 180 divided by 9 is equal to 20. Therefore, we forgot to write the degrees form here, or the degree symbol. Okay, let's make it better symbol. Okay, let's use blue. Okay, alright, it's better. Okay, 9 divided by 9 is 1, and copy x. And 180 divided by 9 is 20. So our answer is 20 degrees. Okay, this is now our final answer, or the 20 degrees is the measure of the angle. Okay, so that's all for our week 3 lesson, and thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. Bye, see you on our next video.